In this video, we're going to talk about how to become an REO contractor for banks. Are you asking yourself this question? You're a contractor and you want to add REO property preservation to your business. Or are you wondering, is it even worth pursuing? Becoming an REO contractor for banks involves building a reputation of handling repairs, maintenance, and preservation of foreclosed properties effectively and efficiently for the banks. Today, we're going to provide you a step-by-step guide on how to get started. And in the second half of the video, we're going to share some successful traits of REO contractors. So by the end of the video, you're going to learn and be able to implement these steps that we're going to share to establish yourself as an expert contractor for REO business. Paul, let's start off with understanding the role of the REO contractor. High level, what is it? And maybe some specific tasks that they do.
For an REO contractor, you're working for the asset manager, right? You're either working for one of two people, the asset manager or the REO listing agent. Could be a connection either way. You want to make connections with both. But the biggest task you're going to be having to do here is secure the property, making sure it's vacant, taking some pictures of it, the initial pictures there, clean it out. They're going to want you to clean it out. So you're going to have to get a 30-yard dumpster, and you might need several depending on how much stuff is left in there. You're going to be getting rid of everything. You're going to be winterizing the property if it's in the north, so you don't have any pipes freezing. You're going to have to get the yard mowed. You may be a part of that, or maybe somebody separate a part of that, but you're going to be securing that property. You're going to be putting railings in where railings aren't, just so that when they have showings, there's no risk, people fall and get hurt. You're going to take care of any trip hazards. Sometimes you'll see in a lot of these properties, the flooring in between room to room might have had a threshold that broke, and they'll do things like that to make sure just that it's safe, right? That somebody can go in there and navigate, and there's no soft spots in the floor. Somebody's going to fall through, make sure the roof isn't leaking, all those kinds of things.
Yeah. Is there any type of special licenses that are required to be an REO contractor, or are they just the same as a normal contractor?
So you're going to need to be licensed in your state. And then you're going to need to have a liability insurance policy, right, to cover you. I'm not sure what the amount of coverage you're going to require, but I'm sure it's going to be at least $250,000, if not more. I'm sure you'll probably need something like an umbrella policy, potentially to that level where $1 or $2 million policy would be my guess. So that's something you're definitely going to need, and, have some expertise, obviously, and some referrals. You're going to need to have good referrals.
Yeah. And the next thing, if you want to be an REO contractor, you should just understand the entire foreclosure process, what the difference between a pre-foreclosure, foreclosure, and REO property is. And just a quick 30-second thing, we have more in-depth videos on this topic that I'll share in the description below. However, property, homeowner has a house, they miss some payments, they start getting letters in the mail called notices of default from banks after 30, 60, 90 days. The property is essentially in pre-foreclosure here. Then once the bank sends out a few of those letters, the property it will be scheduled for public auction, public sale, and that's usually at your county courthouse. And then once that happens, if no one buys the property at that sheriff's sale at the courthouse, that property then goes back to the lender, and it becomes a real estate owned property, aka REO property. So that's just a high level overview for folks that aren't too familiar with all the terminology. Again, we have more videos on that I'll add in the description. Coming back to the topic at hand, though, is the demand for property preservation. What are your thoughts on that, Paul, out there? Is enough work to go around for some of these distressed properties out there, whether it's pre-foreclosure, foreclosure, REO type out there?
It sure is. There's always foreclosures going on, right? And we've seen, it's upticked since 2020, since the lockdowns and COVID and everything. So it's a nice steady increase that we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years now from that. And there's always foreclosures going on. Sometimes they come in waves. Sometimes you'll have a lot more properties, and other times you won't have nearly as many. But if you're open to have a pretty big range of an area you're willing to cover, you're going to have a lot of business from that bank, from that asset manager, and from the agents.
Yeah, speaking of asset managers and banks, let's start with those two first. What are some ways that they could connect with, meaning a contractor can connect with an asset manager or build a relationship with a bank?
You're basically going to be able to look through Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, their portals of REO properties where the asset managers are listed. You can get their information that way. You can also go into the HUD home store, and you can find lots of agents there as well. And those agents might be able to give you referrals to whoever the asset manager is there, that you can contact them. But they're always in demand, especially HUD. And HUD does things a little differently than Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac does. And, Wells Fargo, Chase, and Bank of America, they do things differently as well.
Yeah. Other thing I was thinking about is, top of it could be scary for some people to go to, a big bank or asset management company directly or build relationships like you mentioned. I was thinking, what are your thoughts on building relationships with existing REO agents out there, or maybe agents with distressed properties as well?
That's going to be your quickest resource to be able to get into this business, right? That your foot in the door. The existing REO agents, because they're always looking for quality people and people that they know they can count on, that, or just a phone call away, that they can get there in a few hours, or worst case scenario, a day, to do some work on a property. Sometimes, a tree limb will fall in a house and put a hole in the roof, and then you got to be able to go out there and patch that roof, or at least put a tarp on it temporarily. You got to make sure the yard's mowed if that's something you're in, whether you're a landscaper or a regular contractor. Obviously, two different things, but you might do both. You might be willing to do both things to get your foot in the door, to get started off. The more versatile you are, the more work you're going to get.
And obviously, once you start attracting some of these distressed type properties, whether it's from the agents, the banks, you got to start building a track record, right? It's hey, you talked a good game up to this point. You got to deliver what you promised. And when there is a problem that arises, get there in a timely fashion, resolve the situation, and kind of move on to the next property as it comes up. Anything to add there? Kind of delivering on what you promised is what I'm thinking of there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you got to be responsive. You got to be willing to answer the phone, email, text, whatever way they're trying to get in touch with you. And you got to be able to get there quick. And if not you, maybe you have multiple people in your business that you could send somebody out. They're just looking for quick response times. They're looking for affordable pricing. You can't be priced to gouge, because these banks don't want to put out a lot of money on these properties here, and the REO agents either. But look, as long as you're getting a steady inflow of work, you don't need to price gouge. You can just give a consistent price, an hourly rate, whatever you want to do there. And you're going to get a lot of business, especially if you do good quality work.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some key traits for successful REO contractors that come to mind when I say that statement?
So you kind of almost want to be a jack of all trades, be able to do a lot of different things, whether it's repair siding, be able to seal up a window that might be cracked, to be able to fix a pipe that burst, the plumbing, some minor electrical. If you know how to do it all, if you're a general contractor, you're going to be in huge demand, right? Because you have all the skill set, and they can just call you for anything rather than having to call a specialty person. You know how expensive plumbers can be or electricians can be. But if you can do the basics for them, you're going to really save them a lot of money, and you're going to be first on their to-call list.
Yeah. So kind of to sum it up in 3 words, what I heard you say is reliability, flexibility, and attention to detail. I think those are the kind of the 3 sound bites on some traits that be allowed to become a successful REO contractor.
Yeah, that's what everybody's going to look for, whether it's the asset manager or the REO agent. Like I said, the REO agent is probably the first one to go to, because these guys are always looking for people to do all kinds of different stuff on. And sometimes they're newer to an area and they don't have somebody in that area yet. And that's, if you could be their go-to person in that area, that's huge.
Yeah. So if you got a lot of value from this video, I'm going to ask you for a next step here. And that's to watch this next video that we created on how to buy REO bank-owned properties. It kind of will pull back the curtains, and you'll see the different steps, processes along the way, kind of just help continue to educate you if this is the space that you want to be in as an REO contractor. Again, the links below in the description. Have a great day.